I think we're about to start a show.
If this house starts a rockin', don't come a knockin'.
Serving the universe from somewhere on the map, high atop the Wax Shack.
Greetings, red-blooded, verified Earth people, and those with no check mark. It is me, the always dapper podcast babbler, your daddy-o cock-block from the radio and the monkey on the mic, here running that semi-professionally trained tongue of mine. I am Zachary Ernesto Wagalina III. Let's just call me Zach the Wax, shall we?
Let's do it.
Good morning, beautiful people, and welcome to those of you in Belmore, Long Island, Antioch, California, and all around the world. This is the often secluded, never diluted, always wacky, never tacky, hot rockin' flame-throwing to whack in the morning show. Live from the low-rent, sleazy, and measly Raymond Jam and Nut Hut studios here at the DeWack Shag Podcasting Megaplex at Peachtree Industrial here in FEMA Region Number 4, somewhere on the outskirts of Atlanta, Georgia.
Thank God it's Friday.
Alive at a Studio G today. Why, you ask? Because alive is better than dead.
Oh.
Most days.
Yeah.
Last time I checked, today is May 16th, 2025. Let's take a look at that birthday list. It's a long one. Miles Heiser, actor known for 13 Reasons Why and Parenthood, turns 31. Olympic bronze medalist figure skater Ashley Wagner turns 34. Thomas Brody Sangster, he's an actor known for Game of Thrones and The Queen's Gambit. He's 35. Bahati Prinsloo, a model for Victoria's Secret Angel, is 37. Jermaine Fowler, he's an actor and comedian known for Superior Donuts. He's 37. Actress Megan Fox turns 39. Alex Paul, a musician, a member of the Chainsmokers, turns 40. Jim Sturgis, an actor known for Across the Universe, and 21. He's 44. Joseph Morgan, an actor known for The Vampire Diaries and the originals. He's 44 as well. Turning 48 is Melanie Linsky. She's known for Yellow Jackets and 2.5 Men. Beverly Hills 90210 actress Tori Spelling is 52. Jason Weeman Acuna, a stunt performer known for Jackass. He's 52. Kari Payton is 53. Political commentator and TV host Tucker Carlson turns 56. Tracy Gold from Growing Pains is 56 as well. A singer and a member of New Edition, Ralph Tresvant, is 57. Singer-songwriter Janet Jackson is 59. Chris Novoselic, a bassist and co-founder of Nirvana, is 60. Boyd Tinsley from the Dave Matthews Band is 61. From American Horror Story and Affair, Mare Winningham is 66. Olympic gold medal gymnast Olga Korbut is 70. Actress Deborah Winger is 70 as well. James Bond actor Pierce Brosnan is 72. Actor Bill Smitrovich, the dad from Life Goes On, he's 78. And actor Danny Trejo from Machete, Desperado, and From Dusk Till Dawn is 81 years young today. Also born on this day, Liberace in 1919. Yvonne Craig, she's the OG Batgirl, born in 1937. And passing away on this day in 1984, comedian Andy Kaufman. Margaret Hamilton passed in 1985. She became immortalized as the Wicked Witch of the West in The Wizard of Oz.
I'll get you, my pretty.
Puppeteer Jim Henson passed away on this day in 1990.
It's time for a showdown.
Also passing away in 1990, Sammy Davis Jr. Wrestler Big Dick Dudley passed away on this day in 2002. And in 2010, Ronnie James Dio passed away from his battle with stomach cancer. He was only 67. Here's this day in entertainment. Top Gun released this day in 1986. Star Wars Attack of the Clones released in 2002. Godzilla released in 2014. And Sacha Baron Cohen's The Dictator released this day in 2012.
I am very proud to be an American. I am America's #1 douche.
Let's look at this day in music. In in May of
1965.
Driving away from a gig at the Civic Hall in Long Beach, California, the limo taking the Rolling Stones back to their hotel was besieged by fans who caved in the roof by standing on it. The band attempted to hold the roof up while their chauffeur drove off with bodies falling onto the road. In May of
1966.
The Beach Boys released their classic album Pet Sounds, widely ranked as one of the most influential records ever released, and has been ranked at number 1 in several magazine lists of greatest albums of all time, including New Musical Express, The Times, and Mojo magazine. In 2003, it was ranked number 2 in Rolling Stone's 500 Greatest Albums of All Times list. The Beatles' Sgt. Pepper came in first. In May of
1969,
Pete Townsend spent the night in a U.S. jail for assaulting a man during a Who gig at the Fillmore East. What Townsend didn't know was the man who jumped onto the stage was a plainclothes policeman trying to warn the audience that a fire had broken out. The Who guitarist was later fined $30 for the offense. On this day in May of
1970,
Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young went to number 1 on the U.S. albums charts with Deja Vu. The album featured 3 top 40 singles, Teach Your Children, Our House, and Woodstock. In 2003, the album was ranked number 148 on the Rolling Stones magazine of 500 Greatest Albums of All Time. In May of
1977,
the London Evening Standard reported that Led Zeppelin singer Robert Plant had been arrested at Atlanta's airport for being drunk and pulling a knife. Since Plant was at his home in Wales at the time of the incident, the person arrested was a man impersonating Plant, and the British paper ran an apology the following night.
I'm sorry, and it'll never happen again, ever.
On this day in May
1984,
Ozzy Osbourne was arrested in Memphis, Tennessee for staggering drunk down Beale Street. Osbourne was released from the Memphis jail 5 hours later after drying out, and he was not required to return for a court appearance. Continued on with a tour in support of 1983's Bark at the Moon. In May of
1987,
U2 started a 3-week run at number 1 on the U.S. singles charts with or Without You, the group's first number 1 hit.
With or without you.
The third track from their 1987 album, The Joshua Tree, the song was the group's most successful single at the time. On this day in May of
1998,
Rolling Stones guitarist Keith Richards fell while reaching for a book of nude art in his Connecticut home. The fall broke his ribs, causing the Stones to postpone many dates on their Bridges to Babylon tour. In 2000, NSYNC's It's Gonna Be Me released. Radio stations across the country love to play this clip on April 30th.
It's gonna be May.
On this day in May 2009, Bob Dylan went to number 1 on the U.S. albums charts with Together Through Life, his 33rd studio album. The album received 2 Grammy Award nominations for Best Americana Album category and Best Solo Rock Vocal Performance category for Beyond Here Lies Nothing. The album is also significant as the only album by Dylan to top the US and UK charts consecutively. On this day in May of 2013, it was reported that George Michael had been injured after the car in which he was traveling in crashed on the M1 during the evening rush hour. Ambulance crews confirmed that the singer had been airlifted from the scene near the junction with the M25. 3 days later, Catherine Fox told the Sun newspaper that she was driving behind a silver Range Rover when the singer tumbled out from the passenger door on the 3rd lane of the northbound carriageway. She said Michael had a nasty cut on his forehead and on the back of his head. There was blood all down his face and on his teeth. He was breathing and conscious, but in shock. On this day in May of 2019, Pink was at number 1 on the U.S. albums charts with Hurts to Be Human. The album, which was number 1 in 8 countries, including Australia, Canada, New Zealand, and Switzerland, became Pink's 3rd consecutive album to debut at number 1 on the Billboard 200 chart. And on May 16th, 2023, a rare copy of the Beatles' 1968 White Album raised more than £2,000 at an auction after being donated to a British charity shop. The first edition of the album was handed into the British Heart Foundation Sutton Coldfield branch. After charity experts suspected its value, it was listed on eBay and sold for £2,350. The edition donated to the British Heart Foundation was thought to be incredibly rare, featuring a misprint unique to the first version of the record, of which there were only 10,000 copies.
It happened on this day as if you cared.
And here's this day in history. On May 16, 1777, British-born Georgia patriot and signer of the Declaration of Independence, Button Gwinnett, receives a bullet wound in a duel with his political rival, Georgia City Whig Lachlan McIntosh. 3 days later, Gwinnett died as a result of the gangrenous wound. McIntosh was also shot in a duel, but the wound was not fatal. On this day in 1866, Charles Elmer Hires invented root beer. On May 16, 1868, the U.S. Senate votes against impeaching President Andrew Johnson for high crimes and misdemeanors. He would not be fully acquitted of all charges until 10 days later on May 26th. On this date in 1929, about 270 people attended a dinner at the Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel, at which the first Academy Awards were given in 12 categories. The silent film Wings won Best Picture. A committee of 20 members selected the winners that year. The Academy Awards were first televised in 1953. In 1965, the Campbell's Soup Company introduced SpaghettiOs under its Franco-American brand. In 1975, Japanese climber Junko Tabei, leading an all-woman expedition to Mount Everest, became the first woman to reach the summit. She later recalled, even after reaching the peak, instead of shouting with excitement, I was simply happy that I didn't have to go any higher. On May 16, 1980, Los Angeles Lakers point guard Irving Magic Johnson steps in for injured center Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and scores 42 points, leading the Lakers to a 4-2 series win over the Philadelphia 76ers for their first championship since 1972. In the scientific journal Nature on May 16, 1985, 3 scientists from the British Antarctic Survey announced their detection of abnormally low levels of ozone over the South Pole. Their discovery, commonly known as the ozone hole, became a palpable example of mankind's ability to damage the Earth's atmosphere, as well as one of the most famous success stories in the history of climate activism. On this day in 1991, 14 Stanford University students started leapfrogging. They stopped 10 days and 999.2 miles later with a Guinness World Record.
Wow. Whoa.
In 2000, the New York Democratic Party nominated First Lady Hillary Clinton for the U.S. Senate, making her the first lady to run for public office. In 2007, 22-year-old Yvonne D. Maurice pleaded guilty in federal court to trying to rob a Rhode Island bank at a drive-up window while traveling in a hired limousine. She told the driver she needed to withdraw cash from a branch bank to pay for the ride. Then she handed the teller an envelope with a note demanding money. The teller triggered an alarm. Police say the driver was unaware of the robbery attempt. In 2013, the oldest water ever found was discovered in a Canadian mine, 2.6 billion years old. On May 16, 2014, broadcast journalist and TV personality Barbara Walters retires from ABC News as co-host of the daytime program The View. In a landmark career that spanned some 50 years on air, the 84-year-old Walters blazed a trail for women in TV news.
I look forward to not having a schedule, I look forward to traveling. It's a whole new chapter in my life, and I hope that it will be a wonderful one. I hope that I'm not going to do coulda, shoulda, woulda, which is what I have done in the past.
On Walter's May 16th View send-off, Oprah Winfrey, Diane Sawyer, and Katie Couric were among the more than 24 female broadcasters who appeared on the show to pay tribute. On this day in 2019, new DNA research showed bedbugs are older than humans, 115 million years old, and outlived the dinosaurs. In 2020, 118-year-old American department store JCPenney filed for bankruptcy. And on this day in 2023, ABC announced that a new spin-off of The Bachelor would premiere in the fall, featuring senior citizens as contestants. The new show, called The Golden Bachelor, would focus on older male contestants and age-appropriate women suitors who would compete for his love. Special events for today. It is Barbecue Day. It's Bike to Work or School Day. It's Biographers Day. It's Check Your Wipers Day. It's Defense Transportation Day, Drawing Day, Endangered Species Day, International Day of Light. It's Love a Tree Day. It's also Mimosa Day, NASCAR Day, Piercing Day. It's National Pizza Party Day. Hell yeah! It's Shades Day, it's Virtual Assistance Day, it's Waiters Day, and it's Wear Purple for Peace Day. Today's number for the day is 100,000. That's the number of times you'd have to ride on an elevator before getting stuck in one. I'll keep that in mind. Let's check out this week's news. The Environmental Protection Agency plans to weaken limits on so-called forever chemicals in drinking water. Yeah, because what's more refreshing than a glass of water that outlives your grandchildren? A study says that our attention span has shortened. Oh, look, a mouse. We now have only an 8-second attention span. The good news here is that maybe now they'll start making shorter TV commercials. A study found that diets that involve intermittent fasting don't help you lose weight quicker. Great, now I have an excuse for eating past midnight. It's called continuous feeding. A study found that ultra marathons might be bad for your heart. This is exactly why every summer I participate in a ultra non-marathon by the beer cooler. A study found that small children are more comfortable around attractive people. Yeah, it's just a lot more fun to throw up on a real hottie. A review of major studies found that 1/3 of all the things the study said were good for you turned out to be actually bad for you. Unfortunately, we still have to wait a few years before we know if this review on what's good and bad for you is either good or bad for you. Summer's almost here. It's so dry, my long guy suggested I switch from fertilizer to an herbal conditioner. Saturday marks the 53rd anniversary of the ultimate Big Mac fan, Don Gorski's streak of eating a Big Mac every day. A resident of Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, Gorski claims the Big Mac constitute 90 to 95% of his total solid food intake. Gorski claims that after getting his first car, the first place he went to was the McDonald's on Military Road in Fond du Lac on May 17, 1972. He purchased and ate 3 Big Macs at lunchtime. He returned 2 more times to consume 9 Big Macs the same day he discovered the burger. He further claims to have eaten 265 Big Macs the following month. That's an average of 8.5 Big Macs daily. Gorski ate his 30,000th Big Mac on May 4th, 2018. On May 17th, 2022, Gorski celebrated 50 years of eating Big Macs. On March 15th, 2025, Gorski ate his 35,000th Big Mac. I'm gonna vomit. For those of us who suffer from seasonal allergies, spring and summer can be miserable. A few tweaks to your daily routine can keep the outdoors from invading your home. The blog Apartment Therapy gives some great ideas, but here's one we've never heard of. Change your clothes and shoes as soon as you enter your home. Leaving the clothes by the door prevents the transfer of allergens into other rooms. Don't put these clothes in the bedroom or put them in the hamper either. That brings allergens into the bedroom and defeats the purpose. Yeah, I'll see how my friends like that when I just walk into their place and start undressing by the front door. Morris, an alligator from Colorado Gator Farm, has passed away at an estimated age of 80 years old, following a remarkable career in showbiz that spanned several decades. He was known for his roles in films like Happy Gilmore, Dr. Dolittle 2, and Interview with a Vampire. The Colorado Gator Farm in Mosca, Colorado, said Morris was 9 feet long. He was discovered in a Los Angeles backyard when he was between 10 and 20 years old after being kept illegally as a pet. He was then cared for by someone who held the appropriate permits and worked in the film industry, which led to his first acting opportunity. Fully automated vehicles are still stinking it up. Waymo issued a software recall for more than 12,000 robo-taxis following incidents where the cars collided with barriers. A National Highway Traffic Safety Administration report highlighted that the recall was triggered by collisions with gates and chains, marking the third recall from Waymo in just over a year. A 24-year-old employee at a cemetery in Fishers, Indiana, was charged after allegedly digging up a grave in search of a gold ring. According to police, Seth Davidson confessed that he had recently buried an urn containing the ring and couldn't shake the thought of retrieving it. Authorities were alerted to the situation when a concerned individual noticed disturbances in the grave area. Upon investigation, police discovered that Davidson had unlawfully excavated the grave. Getting one person to rub their belly and pat their head at the same time is tricky, but to have more than 1,000 doing it simultaneously is a feat. The world record for the most people simultaneously patting their heads and rubbing their bellies or stomachs is 1,134 participants. The record was set at Kirkwood High School in Kirkwood, Missouri in 2014. Why? Why? According to some newly published statistics, 11 million people in the United States were displaced due to natural disasters last year. This is the largest number of people of any country. Worldwide, 46 million people were displaced due to a natural disaster. All right, let's look at stupid news.
We got to wrap this program to bring you something really, really, really stupid.
At England's Birmingham Airport, a groom-to-be found himself at the center of a comedic security incident while dressed in an embarrassing female flight attendant outfit for his bachelor weekend in Portugal. Jovel, a plumber who was outfitted in a navy and yellow cabin crew style ensemble put together by his best man. The getup included a lanyard featuring a picture of Val and the name Joanne. After passing through security and enjoying a few pre-flight drinks, Val was approached by 4 security guards who claimed he was impersonating airline staff. The guards threatened to call the police, leaving Val and his friends baffled. Despite their pleas for common sense, the security team remained firm until a supervisor intervened, allowing Val to board only after he agreed to surrender the lanyard. A duck has caused a stir in Switzerland after being caught speeding at 32 miles an hour in a 20-mile-per-hour zone by a traffic camera. Authorities humorously dubbed the culprit a notorious racer and repeat offender, as they noted a similar incident involving the same duck 7 years earlier. The town assured skeptics that the images captured were real. The duck managed to evade any fine. Well, what's the last thing your family pet swallowed? A sock? A child's toy? Your wife's bra? A pet python in Australia had to undergo surgery to remove a pair of barbecue tongs he swallowed. Well, you know, folks, I just read the news. I just report it. I don't make it up. I'm calling BS on that one.
It's total BS. It's total BS. Fake news.
A man in Sweden who dumped a bag of killer slugs in a neighbor woman's garden was found guilty of adult bullying. The man denied he had behaved badly towards the woman, but witnesses contradicted his testimony, saying that he had often seen the man hanging around the neighbor's house. The man was ordered to pay almost $2,000 in fines and damages. And that's it for Stupid News.
Finally, the end. Here's your highly scientific and completely infallible and often inscrutable guaranteed horoscope for today.
And now it's time for the world-famous Dweck in the Morning Horrible Scopes. If today is your birthday, you are a Taurus. You'll spend the entire day deciding between two brands of organic quinoa, only to end up eating gas station nachos at 9 p.m. The nachos will win, and so will your regret.
Like, wow, who'd do a kooky thing like that?
Gemini, you'll start 14 different tasks and finish none, and somehow convince everyone you were multitasking. The stars recommend less coffee. Your bloodstream will disagree.
This blows joint.
Cancer Moonchild, your emotional roller coaster hits a new twist when you cry over a heartwarming dog food commercial. Then again, you also cried when your toast popped up too aggressively.
It's over. Let it go. Live a little.
Leo, you'll attempt to one-up a coworker's vacation story by claiming you accidentally adopted a tiger in Tulum. Nobody believes you except Steve in accounting. Yeah, Steve's kind of weird.
Well, I'll put out an APB on him. As soon as we pick him up, maybe we'll get some answers.
Virgo, today you'll alphabetize your condiments, reorganize your junk drawer, and judge people who don't use coasters. Unfortunately, your Wi-Fi goes down, chaos ensues, and therapy is considered.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Libra, you'll spend the day trying to decide whether to ghost your ex or politely ruin their self-esteem. The stars say choose chaos. Your group chat already voted yes.
Focus, children. It is time we remind the world who we are.
Scorpio, you'll stare into someone's soul at the DMV and make them question all their life choices. Later, you'll buy 3 scented candles and claim you're healing.
Don't tell her, but I got them cheap.
Sagittarius, you'll impulsively book a trip to Iceland despite not knowing where it is or how to spell Reykjavik. Don't worry, you'll cancel by dinner and blame Mercury stuff.
How dare you invade my eardrums like that?
Capricorn, productivity is your middle name, but today you accidentally put your to-do list in the shredder. You'll take that as a sign from the universe to vibe out. Your boss will disagree.
How did I get into this mess?
Aquarius, you invent a new language made entirely of eyebrow raises and side eyes. Your friends think you're edgy. The barista just wants your coffee order.
I think it's time for some intracranial penetration.
Pisces, you'll daydream so hard today you'll forget to get off the bus. 3 towns later, you'll make a new friend, start a commune, and adopt a goat named Clarissa. Classic Friday.
Ideal for an ambush.
And finally, Aries. Today, your impulsive nature will lead you to cut your own bangs using garden shears. You'll insist it looks punk. Your houseplants will quietly disagree. And those are your official Dweck in the Morning Horrible Scopes. And remember,
don't leave home without them.
You've been listening to the Always First Never Last podcast with me, your doomsday host, the incredible edible Mr. Zach Wackalina. You can connect with me at ZachTheWack.com. That's ZachDawack.com. Find me on Facebook, Twitter, X, Instagram, MySpace, the comic strip, the Yellow Pages, Telepathy, Western Union, or call or text 984-DWAC1. That's 984-329-2251. Like it, follow us, or subscribe, and please share this show with your friends. Available to hear on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, and all other podcasting platforms, including my host, Podbean. Or you can always listen at ZachTheWack.com if that's easier for you.
Just do it.
Thank you to all the awesome wackos, weirdos, reverts, preverts, dingbats, and jelloheads anonymous for any and all listens you can give. It means a lot. Thank you so much. I'm out of here like Vladimir. Until next time, and there will be a next time. Don't forget me. I won't forget you. I am Zach the Wack, saying if I'm lying, I'm dying. Grits ain't groceries, eggs ain't poultry, and Mona Lisa was a man. I'll be back Monday for another edition of the Dweck in the Morning Show. I'll talk to you then. Same whack time, same whack channel. Whack out.
It's Friday, it's Friday. Let's all jump for Friday. It's Friday, it's Friday. Jump around for Friday.
ZachTheWack.com.